What's up? Welcome back to the Soul Burner 876 channel. We're back. We're here to go through Owen Cardoza's third place Runick Spright deck profile. This is an interesting list. This would be like the third mobile player that I would be posting a deck list for. Funny enough, it's a third place deck profile. But anyways, let's go through the list pretty quickly. 3 Spright blue. Alright, so before I start, I'm just gonna say any card that is completely popular in meta or should be already known, I don't think I'll be stopping to explain, because everybody should know what these cards do. Even the newer players, they're going to be swamped with a lot of these decks running around, so they already know what the cards do. Spright blue, I kind of might just give a little description. Spright blue adds you your Spright cards, adds you your Spright monsters, your Spright jets, adds you your Spright spells or traps. Your Spright red, it protects you from monsters. I guess I probably might go about how this does that. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can tribute one other level 2, rank 2, link 2, so level, rank, or link 2 monster to negate that effect. If you tributed a rank 2 or a link 2 monster to activate this effect, you can destroy that monster. So the reasoning for the you can clause is you can still tribute a rank or link monster and not choose to destroy the monster. You actually have to tell your opponent that I'm destroying the monster, since it's a you can. Then he played the 1 carrot. Let's see. This has the same clause. You negate the spell or trap card's effect. So if it's already face up on the field and they activate the effect of it, you can tribute a rank or a link 2 monster to activate this effect. You still have to choose if you want to destroy the card or you want to leave it face up. So that's something to take into note, because there can be situations where they use the effect and they expect you to automatically know that you're destroying the card, and then the argument can be brought up, you did not say you're destroying the card, and that can kind of messes up the game state. So something to always be mindful of, that your opponent has to tell you that I'm destroying the card if they tribute a rank or a link 2 monster. But they are special summon once you have level 2 monsters or level 2 or link 2, right? Yeah, level 2 or link 2, not rank 2. So if they only have rank 2 monsters on the board, they cannot special summon these. Oh, this one is a level 2 or a rank 2, not link 2. So I'm guessing they have different special summon clauses. Let's look at Jet. I haven't really looked at these cards too much because I don't play the deck. I've never really liked Spright myself because I figured they're too small and they struggle with closing out the games. But so this one needs level 2 or rank 2. The other one needs level 2 or rank 2. And then carrot, I see, level 2 or link 2. So if you control just rank monsters, you can't special summon this or carrot. And then he's playing the 3 lava golem. Lava golem just says, okay, so you built a board. No, we don't do that here. And he just takes 2 monsters for free. And if that wasn't bad enough, he just decides that he's going to give you burn damage. And then in this deck, it's not like you're going to have a 3k monster to attack with, because they're either one going to pop it or bounce it or banish it. They're going to do something to it that is not going to allow it to live past it doing 1000 damage to you and clearing your board. So he played 3 of that. And then he's playing 2 Ipera and 1 Capsule. For those who don't know what Ipera does, because this was a fairly unknown card until a few weeks ago, If this card is summoned in any way, shape, or form, draw one card. That's it. Can only use this effect of Ipera once per turn. This card was once dog water, and then Spright came out, and then Spright got hit, and then they're like, okay, this is an awesome card. It's level 2 and it draws. Why not? And then to close out the monsters, he played the one Capshell. Capshell says, if this card is tributed, you can draw one card. If this card is used as a fusion, as material for a fusion, sinker, or link summon, you can draw one card. If this card is attached from an XYZ monster to activate that monster's effect, you can draw one card. So when you Gigantic and you make this, you bring in this from the deck, you link the Gigantic and this card into the Elf, or you can leave the Gigantic on the field, whichever one floats your boat. You link those into the Elf, and then you use the Elf to bring this back. Then you overlay and you make Gin Buster. Once you use Gin Buster's effect, you're going to draw another card. So you're getting 2 cards of this essentially. Then you probably get another 2 cards of Ipera. Then you get more cards of the Runick Fountain. It's just a surplus of advantage. Then for the Spright stuff, we're playing 3 Spright starters. You guys know what this does. Special summon 1 Spright monster from your deck, but you lose life points equal to its original attack. A lot of people don't remember that during gameplay. They forget to check how much life points is lost, and sometimes you can lose really crucial games because you don't keep track of the life points. Something else, it also locks you into level 2 rank 2 or link 2 monsters for the rest of that turn. So no Zeus plays, none of those rank 4s, rank 3s, none of that. Link 3s, none of that. You're just stuck in 2. 1 Spright Smashers, the best removal in this deck. Banish 1 Spriggan, Styrian, or Spright card. So we're just going to omit the first 2 and go straight to the one that counts here. Spright card from your hand or graveyard. So you can banish the card from your hand or your graveyard, depending on where you want to, which is most likely the graveyard. Then you can activate any one of these effects. You can special summon. Okay, that is bullshit. We're not going to read those 2 because those don't apply to the deck. You can banish 1 level 2, rank 2, or link 2 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls. Yeah. This is okay. It doesn't target, by the way. It does not target at all. But you can only activate 1. So they only use 1. And then going into the Runick cards, he played 2 Fountain. This is what allows you to recycle your Runick cards. You can activate Runick spell cards, Runick quick play spell cards from your hand during your opponent's turns. So you turn them into trap cards from your hand. So everything in your hand is an imperm. Once, if you would activate a Runick quick play spell card once per turn, you can target up to 3. So you decide when it is that you want to use this effect. Then place them on the bottom of your deck in any order, then draw the same number of cards. So normally you activate 1 to special summon Hugin. Hugin will discard and get this card. You play this card, you play more Runick cards and more Runick cards, and then you get to 3, and then you trigger this, put all 3 back in the bottom of the deck, and then draw 3 new cards. So you get the advantage of those Runick cards that you played, and then you get to draw 3 fresh cards. Fun Yu-Gi-Oh! Fun Yu-Gi-Oh! Indeed. He played the 3 Destruction. This one, so something else, all these cards, once you activate them, any one of the effects, you have to skip your next battle phase. This one says target 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls, destroy it, then you banish the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. Or you can choose to special summon a Runick monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. Yeah. So any one of the effects you activate, you still can't attack the next battle phase. You have to skip it. You have to target one spell. So to make up for the not being able to have a battle phase, you get to banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck, and all of them banish like different amount of cards. After that, we have freezing curses. This is the imperm for them. Target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effect, then banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's effect. And then this one also has the special summon Runick monster from the extra deck. Yeah, they all have this one, I believe. Then we have 3 Flash and Fire. This one targets one special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and then banish the top 2 cards. And then the effect everybody knows and love already. Then he played 3 Runick Slumber. This one says target one face-up monster on the field. The next time that monster will be destroyed by a battle or card effect this turn, it is not destroyed. Also, it cannot attack this turn. Then, after applying this effect, banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So this is a way to just keep your cards on the board. Like, it allows you to keep your elf on the board, it keeps your gigantic, any card that you want, any monster that you want to keep on the board. This allows you to do so while banishing the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. After that, we are playing the Runick tip. Funny. Yeah, this allows you to add any one of your Runick cards from the deck to your hand. So this can get you to your fountain or any Runick card that you want. This card banishes the top card of your opponent's deck. The final 2 Runick cards were Runick Golden Droplet. This one says your opponent draws 1 card. Then you banish the top 4 card of their deck. So you're giving your opponent a +1 to -4. I suppose it's okay. I've never really seen much of the lists online running this card, but he must have had his idea of why he did, but yeah, that's okay. Draw 1, banish 4. I guess the trade-off, it makes sense. I wouldn't say is worth it, but it makes some sort of sense. Banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck up to the number of cards they control. This is Runick Smiting Storm. So let's say, for instance, you've been banishing cards for the entirety of the turn, and then they're down to very few cards. And since this card says banish cards, they can up to the number of cards they control. Guess what? You just won because your opponent decked out. So this is an okay card in the engine. And for the final Runick card, we are playing the 1 Runick Dispelling. This one says if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, discard 1 random card from their hand, then banish the top 2 cards of their deck. So this deck just says your opponent can't play Yu-Gi-Oh properly, and they can't play Yu-Gi-Oh for long either because you just keep banishing cards on the top of their deck. And to close out the spells, he played 2 triple tactical talents, and that's going to be it. It's a 40 card main deck. To the extra deck, he played 2 elf, 2 gigantic. I don't think I need to explain what these cards do, but I will just for those that don't know. You need 2 monsters, including a level 2 rank 2 or a link 2 monster. This card cannot be used as link material the turn it is link summoned. Your opponent cannot target monsters this card points to with card effects, so you can always target this card. During the main phase, this is a quick effect, you can target 1 level 2 monster in your graveyard, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can target 1 rank or link 2 monster instead, special summon it. So you still can special a level 2 monster, it's just that once your opponent controls a monster, you can special a rank 2 or a link 2 monster instead of that, just to make note of. So you can always special summon a level 2. And then there is the gigantic Spright. for this card to Xyz summon, you can treat link 2 monsters you control as level 2 monsters for this material. So this is what allows you to get like the elf, or if they play Sprint, they will use Sprint overlay and make this guy. And the original attack of this card that has a fusion, synchro, XYZ, or link monster as material becomes doubled. So it will be 3200 once you use one of those. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Detach one material from a monster you control, so not specifically this card. Any monster you control. And if you do, special summon one level 2 monster from your deck. Also, neither player can special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except level 2, rank 2, or link 2 monsters. So basically, you're gonna be reproof with this once this resolves. Yeah. So he played 2 of that. Then there's 2 Hugin. This is what allows you to add a Runick field spell from your deck, so this gets you to your Runick fountains. If another card you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card you control instead. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or by card effect, return this card to the extra deck. Yeah, okay. So we'll just have all our resources at all time unless we use this to protect. And then he played the one Gary, the Runick Fans. If this card is special summon from the extra deck, you can target one non-quick play Runick spell in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So unless they don't Cosmic Cyclone the Runick Fountain, this card gets it back. And when this card is destroyed by battle, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. Guess we're just never destroying this card. He played the one Gargoyles, gains attack for each banish card. Yeah, gains 200 attack for each banish card. Guess what this deck does? Banishes from the top of your opponent's deck. So this is going to be a shitload of attack. Another monster is special summoned to a zone, a link monster points to while this monster is on the field. Banish all cards on the field. Once per turn during the standby phase of the next turn after this card is banished by its own effect, special summon this banished card. Yeah. So I mean, your opponent can clear your board with this also. So yeah. Then we have Unicorn, and then there's Dark. Unicorn says it's link summon. You can simply target one card on the field and shuffle it into the deck by discarding one card. So you have to pay the cost first, discarding a card, then target, shuffle it into the deck. Then if this card is co-link when the effect is activated, you can draw one card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Unicorn once per turn, while any co-link Nightmare monsters are on the field. For your normal draw in your draw phase, draw one card for each different card name among those co-linked Nightmare monsters, instead of drawing just one card. So if you co-link this card and it comes around back to your next turn, so I'd say you make IP with this, and then you catch a draw with this, and then your next turn comes around, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you draw one additional card for this card being co-linked. Co-linked monsters are on the field. Yeah. I think it codes itself. So you draw one for him if you don't control any other co-linked Nightmare monsters. Then the one Dark. Everybody plays Dark. Dark is Day. She's like that little emo chick. So you can target one Dark monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone. This card points to if this link summon card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone. You can add one Dark monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Very important to note that this says defense, not attack, guys. One IP, because IP just makes your Unicorn virtually indestructible by spell and trap cards or effects and it makes your Zerberus immune to destruction from card effects. Because this says during your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves. Link summon one link monster using materials you control, including this card. You can only use this effect of IP Masquerade once per turn. Bitch, this card is only going to be on the field for one turn. So yeah, that's that. Then we played one Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. Do I really need to explain this card? Like, really? I don't think I do, but yeah. The amount of monsters you use to link summon it, that's its attack times 800. Once per chain when your opponent activates a monster effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect. So immediately when they do, if nothing else happens, that's when you can interact with this card. You can make it lose exactly 800, and if you do, negate the activation. It doesn't destroy. And then we have Mannequin Cat. Once per turn. Sorry about that, guys. That was my bad. Going back into that. Alright. So, once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, then target one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon it to your opponent's field. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls, special summon one monster with the same type or attribute from your hand to your deck, from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So anywhere it is that this card is, you special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. Wow. So you use this to summon some pretty OP monsters. You can, if it's a mirror match, you can use it to get like your Spright cards or your Ipura capsule, anything you want, really. You can use this to get it out of the deck, or you can use this to get like Newman, Errata, Newman, what the fuck, whatever the fuck its name. You can use it to special like Thunder King, Ryo, Chaos Hunter, different dimensional weapon, all sorts of shit. You can use this card to get out of your deck. And it's a 2k light rank 2 monster. So 2k rank 2, what the fuck? I always saw people using this card and I thought this was weak as shit. But I'm reading the card after seeing my own copy and I realized that 2k. Alright, there is Onibimaru Soul Sweeper. You can detach one material from this card, then target one monster your opponent controls. Banish it until your opponent's end phase. This just reminds me of Destiny Hero Doomlord. That's what this is reminding me of. I don't think their effects work the exact same way, but could be. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target banished monsters up to the number of material this card had, shuffle them into the deck. So, if I'm not mistaken, I summon this card, I target your card and I banish it. If I want that card to stay out of my game, well, for the rest of that turn, I can simply just run into your monster and this dies and I shuffle back that card. Interesting. Okay. And then to round out the episode, there's the Gin Buster. Like I said, this needs 2 level 2 dark monsters during other player's turn when an effect of an opponent's monster is activated. So this has to be directly behind the monster's effect. You can detach 2 XYZ material from this card to negate the activation, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So you're not just negating the effect, you're not destroying it, but you're inflicting 500 damage, which can be pretty crucial in like time and that sort of shit. But that's going to be it for the extra deck. For the side deck, there's the Red Resonator, because this card is going to gain a shitload of life points when they use it, should it resolve. Because it says, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand. totally irrelevant. You will never use that effect. When this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up monster on the field. One face-up monster on the entire field. The whole field, not just your field. Gain life points equal to its attack. So you can... Alright. Let's say my opponent has this big ass 5300 access code. And I use elf, and then I special summon this card. I target access code, and then I just gain 5300 life points for free. Like, what the fuck? If I did it the other way, like I used gigantic special out the deck, I gain 53, and then I make elf, bring something else back, and then I make whatever the hell I want to make, and then in my opponent's turn I use elf to bring this back, and I just gain 53 again. So that's 10,600 life points that my opponent has to deal with, plus my other 8,000 life points. Good stuff, good stuff. The one Thunder King Ryo. This is tutored out by the Mannequin Cat. Neither player can add cards except by drawing them during either player's turn. When your opponent would special summon exactly one monster, you can send this card face up to the graveyard, negate that special summon, and if you do, destroy it. So yeah, it allows your opponent not to add, and it can negate a special summon, an inherit special summon like Synchro, Link, that sort of stuff. But it has to be like one monster. So Pendulum summons escape this. Then we are playing the 3-Winged Dragon of Ra Spear mode. Yeah. This card just says fuck your life. You spend your entire turn, 25 minutes, doing combo, playing crazy ass cards, just throwing shit on the board. And yeah, you're just having a grand old time, and then somebody decides, oh, okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna need that, and that to go. Like, just leave. And then they give me this shit. Yeah, this says cannot attack. Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks or by card effects. So when they give you this, they can't attack it, they can't imperm it, they can't do anything to it. I mean, they can droplet it to like kill it if they want to waste a droplet on this shit. And you get in this card, you can tribute this card, special summon one Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. And if you do, its attack and defense become 4,000. So you get an Egyptian God card out of this shit. Marek would be proud. Okay, 3 Lightning Storms, and then as mentioned before, 3 Droplet in the side, and then there is 3 Eradicators. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Should be 1 Dark Monster with 2,500 or more attack, and declare 1 type of card, spell or trap, look at your opponent's hand. All spell or trap cards they control, and all cards they draw until the end of their 3rd turn after this card's activation, and destroy all cards of that declared type. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. Let's see what our 2,500 or higher dark monsters could be. This can easily be 3,200. You just need a Link monster. This is already 2,500 or higher. This is fucking 3K. Yeah, that's about it. That's your 2 targets, but you can easily get those out over 2,500, which makes this card almost always live. But yeah guys, that's going to be it for the deck profile here. You know, as usual guys, you can let me know down in the comment what you think about the deck list. Shout out, you know, Owen, Cardoza, shout out Mobile Community, Piggy, all man them. the Kingston community, the entire Jamaican Yu-Gi-Oh community, the entire Yu-Gi-Oh community at large in the entire world. Because we're playing the game we love and we're enjoying ourselves and we're having fun. And it's always good fun to enter tournaments and like see who's the best. That's gonna be it from me, guys. Until next time, peace.